Queen. I am Lady Queen I Am, and I'm going to help you deliver something you've been pregnant with for a long time. You see, the body has limitations, but the mind doesn't. If you can transform your mind from being conformed, then you can deliver your purpose and allow the world to see the greatness in you. See, you can't think like everyone else does. You can't do the same things they do. It takes discipline and dedication to be a part of that 1% that succeeds and reaches its full potential. You keep asking yourself, when is it my turn? When will I get my break? Well, let me ask you a question. What are you willing to go through? Are you willing to have sleepless nights because you have to work a little harder? When the other 99% is playing it safe and being comfortable and working the 9 to 5, making someone else's business successful. That's not the life God intended for you. You have to be willing to wake up before everyone else does. You have to be willing to go to bed after everyone else does. You have to be willing to give up fear. You can't be afraid to run up to the edge of the cliff and jump. Understand, when your feet hit the ground running, it's only to gain momentum to take flight. And turbulence is the price you pay for flying high. Hear this, change your mind, change your life. Now look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am powerful. I am worthy of success. I am whatever I want to be. And all I have to do is change my mind. I am.
Hello. Listen.
That is amazing. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That is Queen.
Look, as soon as I can rearrange some stuff, I was like, that was when I had Wanda as a guest, and I was trying to do the other one. It didn't want to convert into an MP4.
I loved it.
It's the words. I'm trying to help you deliver something you've been pregnant with for a long time. And that's what it's about. Listen, y'all. Listen. Queen Nation, Queens in Action. Listen. We got this, and look, I make everything personal, right? I make everything personal. This is my sister queen right here, April Pullins, P1000. This queen right here. When I tell you she's killing the game, she's killing the game. So this is what I need you to do. I need you first. There's two things, right? I need you to tap to clap, okay? I need you to press that heart button, and you press it. That's showing us you clapping, that you see the start of the greatness, and you clapping along with us. And the second thing I need you to do is go ahead and press that share button and press it. Get it to every platform, to every group, to every page that you're associated with, because you do not want to miss this. When I tell you I got my sister queen right here, you do not want to miss this, okay? Okay. Now, as you know, I am Shamika Willis, also known as Lady Queen I Am. And like I tell you all the time, I came to not only motivate you with the word of God, but help you to live a better life. Listen, it's not only including spiritually, but financially. We bring in the sauce today, y'all. We bring in the sauce. So get in here, tag some folks in here, because it is about to be amazing. Now, my guest right here, as I said, this is April Pullins, an amazing queen, a mother, an awesome woman of God that, is killing this game in the cryptocurrency world. She's a part of our wealth community, which I'm so happy. I'm so excited to see her winning. So April, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yes. First of all, I am so stoked to be on here. Hey, queens. Hey, guys. I know you're watching too. But listen, I am a educator by trade. I taught for 16 years, absolutely new in 8th grade. I wanted to teach. New in 9th grade, I wanted to teach deaf kids. And so I went to school and got my degree and started teaching. And then I eventually got into this industry where I was working for myself. And I loved it because nobody was telling me what to do. As a matter of fact, I had a situation in one of my classrooms where the administrator put her finger in my face like that. Yeah, in front of my middle school students. And it took every piece of God in me to go, okay. And I went over to the other class, bawled my eyes out and said, I don't think I'm staying here. And God put me in that place for me to understand what leadership meant and what it was going to take for you to endure some trials. Because I was like, you gave me this job. Why would you do that? So anyway, I left at the end of the school year, and I actually started to interpret a little bit on the side. I think I will interpret till my fingers don't work. But I also was working for myself in a business. and God had exploded my business where I was able to not work full time if I didn't want to. And it's just been a blessing. And so in 2020, when COVID hit, I partnered up with our wealth community. And I am so excited because, honey, 3 years ago, I was like taking what is that? I don't understand. What charts, graphs? I'm LD in math. That's what they told me. And now I am in love.
Now let me ask you a question. So after that situation happened, because I felt my blood pressure rising when you said that it happened. I felt the Medea coming on, picking up my purse and stuff. But that is so crazy. So I wanted to know, when did you start signing? Like, what all started that with you signing?
I started signing in, I think it was 7th grade. I'm born and raised Chicago, and I used to sing with the Soul Children of Chicago. It's an international group, gospel group that we sang everywhere. And there was a guy that had deaf family. And so he was teaching us a song in like 7th grade. And I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. And so I said, is this like a real thing? Like, can I learn it and then do something with it? And then I started in 8th grade, started seeking out places that I can learn. I went to a community college in 8th grade, and I was like, I'm doing this. I don't know if there's a career in this, but I'm doing it. And then when I got to high school, I was like, oh, I can teach. So 8th grade up until actually when I really started being good at it, it was not until I started being with deaf people. Just like Spanish or French or any other language, you have to be around native speakers. And so until, honey, I got out of school, I was like, oh, I know how to sign. And then when I got around natives, they were like, child, that's book knowledge.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So you started off into this community because you wanted to see something different. And, like I was the same way. Look, I can't even find my glasses right now, but I was like, Lord, I think my computer's upside down, Jesus. I thought, it was a lot to handle at the time. But now, I can see like the resistance and the support. And I'm like, wow, you know what? I start to see all these great things in this chart, what's happening in the cryptocurrency world. And I know that's what you came to hear about. So we're going to jump right on into that. Now, April, with cryptocurrency, what is one thing, I guess, that you would tell people that, maybe are unsure about it? Because I was actually talking to a queen right before we got on, and they were like, with digital things can shut down, and, trying to even explain to them what is something that you would tell someone that maybe has heard it and, they're hearing it more and more, but yet they're still skeptical. They're still unsure about what they should do.
Yeah, so I was talking to somebody today and I said, whatever you do, put some money into a Coinbase, Cash App on Bitcoin. We know that Bitcoin will be the currency, the international currency of the world. We know this. And so if you don't have any Bitcoin, you're already behind. I mean, we're already behind anyway. When we think about Bitcoin came out in 2009. And, it's $50,000 a coin. And so people get, oh, well, I can't afford to buy one coin. Or you don't have to buy one coin. You can buy bits of it, but you need to make sure that you have some stake into it, because we've already seen last year, even this year still, I go to the dollar store, go to Walmart, and there's signs, sorry, we don't have cash. Yeah. Who? What? How does that even happen? Yeah. You can't give me cash. I have cash. Remember they used to say cash is king?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
And so the same thing we see has happened. People get nervous about digital stuff. They say, oh, well, my mother-in-law says, I don't want to use my card to buy things online. Well, you are going to be behind because everything is online. A lot of brick and mortar stores are closing their doors. Everybody shops on Amazon. The credit card companies has made it so that it's secured. We don't want to be antiquated and get left like a Blockbuster operating in a Netflix world. So that's what I see happening. And if anything, definitely get you some Bitcoin.
Definitely. Now, one thing that, because everyone knows that when I start talking about things, a lot of time when I do my motivation and all that great stuff, that I want to break the walls of religion. I want to break, I want to break down the Sadducee and Pharisee type stuff, because of the fact is I realize what the importance is, the relationship with Jesus Christ. So one thing that I believe God has put in my life is to help the church, with that, because the church has become very a religious place versus the relationship with Jesus Christ. And one thing that stood out to me a lot whenever I started seeing this, and we get on our morning mentorships and we're listening, to all of our mentors, and we're hearing what they say, realizing, oh, you know what, if 66% of churches are expected to close, that means only 34% stay open. And with that being said, that more than likely that's going to be our big mega churches, right? So God
Right.
has definitely given me a heart for the smaller churches, for those churches that are speaking truth and that really want to bring Jesus to people and teach them, look, God loves you no matter what you've been through, no matter what you've gone through, no matter what type of skeletons are in your closet, he still loves you. And so one of the things that I believe he even put on my heart is about bringing cryptocurrency to the church. But unfortunately, because and I'm trying to guard the way I say things. I'm trying to
I'm already there.
but you know what? I really realize that a lot of times we judge what comes out of our mouth first instead of just speaking what is from our heart. Because understand, everything that we say is definitely, in love. But the church has come to a place where, they are it's our, some of our older generation afraid of being scammed because of the fact of how, growing up, it was so hard and difficult, and they had to work really hard to get what they had. So they wanted to protect it with dear life, and they even brought that into the church of, not being afraid really to step out into the water, being like Peter and stepping out of the boat, saying, you know what, God, I trust you completely. And especially because I see evidence of it's God. I see evidence of the Father opening up doors and I see the evidence of it. Wanda was talking about that. One of our mentors were talking about that, and she was talking about the witnesses. And that's why I was like, you know what, this week, and April's the first one I reached out to, because not only do I just love her personality, I love the fact that she's also a kingdom believer. I love the fact that, that she signs, because, that's one of my things. I'm like, when I see her sign, I'm like watching that computer hard, and I just, just love everything about her, and the fact that she's winning in this community, and winning in the wealth transfer. So I was like, I really want to even get your input on that, because the church struggles with that. Thank God our church actually just bought Bitcoin. And just from doing that 2 weeks ago, we've made a good bit on it. And I'm like, we would have never seen that in the bank, right? We would have never seen that. So even, with that, April, what is maybe something that you would tell maybe a pastor that's watching, or, even if they watch the replay, a pastor or a minister or someone that's in church watching, but still yet, skeptical of wondering, if this is the scam, or if this is not for them or not for their church?
I can tell you, before I came over here, I really thought cryptocurrency was crypto, like Tales from the Crypt, scary, no touch it, Mark of the Beast, all of these things that, people associated with, because it's new, it's different. It's not what we used to, what we've known for so many years. And I really prayed about it and asked God before I came over to the community. I was totally against everything about anything over here. Like, and it was because I was in a community that it was very judgmental to anything outside of what they were doing. And so God brought me over here and was like, I want you to come over here so you can actually get an understanding of what I'm doing right now in 2020 and 2021, because he's doing something clearly with COVID and everything that's happened. And he told me to come over here and humble myself and get an understanding and to apologize.
Yeah.
I came over here.
Come on, sis.
I needed to apologize to somebody I had an offense with. And so walking through all of that, understanding what cryptocurrency, what digital currency is, and understanding that if we're going to talk about what is of God and what is of not God, and you see the stock market, right? You have the stock market, and let's talk about Google. Google last year I don't know what, $1,000 a stock. Bitcoin was at a certain point. It's exceeded. It's exceeded by like 300 to 500% in growth. So why wouldn't we invest? Why wouldn't we put some of our capital into that, seeing that the growth? I know people are fearful, but the Bible says that He has not given us a spirit of fear.
Yeah.
And so I think there still needs to be some exploration. I think churches still need to get an understanding. They need to talk to people who really have done the research and know what's going to happen. We talk all day long about the wealth transfer, but we talk about it and then are we going to miss it? Because it's happening right now. And thank God for pastors that are saying, yes, let me explore this. Nobody's saying, go run, do it now. At least explore it and figure it out.
Definitely. Now you know what you said something, because actually, like in 2018, I had a dream, and in this dream, I was a paramedic for 12 years, but I definitely sat on the passenger side. If we got an emergency patient, I was in the back, did all the critical care stuff, and but in this dream, I was driving, and I was like, this makes no sense, but I'm driving in this dream. And then when I get out of of the ambulance, I have no shoes on. And I'm like, kind of, just looking around. I'm like, the ground is wet. I go into this house, but needless to say, what I realized is God was even showing me something in that time, how, it would be a Moses and Joshua type thing. Now, understand, there are people that miss the land of abundance because not only, okay, Moses missed it because he was disobedient, right? But the people missed it because the Bible calls them stiff-necked. When I looked up the definition of stiff-necked, it was people that did not want to change their perspective. They were always stuck on, oh, this is what it is, and I don't see anything else around. I mean, I want you to think about that. Whenever someone, even physically, just being stiff-necked, it's difficult to turn. And you will do any and everything you can, even make other muscles hurt, because the fact is, you want to stay in the position that you're in. But a lot of, and that's what it is. It's being a stiff-necked type of people, and the fact that, what, this is something we've never seen before, and because I've never seen it before, I don't want to deal with this. Like I can't deal with this because I've never seen it before. I don't have an understanding of it. And I heard you talk about that when God said for you to get an understanding. And that's what it takes. Just saying, you know what, God, if this is of you, like, begin to show me. Like, we're not even asking you to take our word. Ask God, like, show me this and show me exactly what you're trying to do in this place right now, in this season right now. Show me what you're doing. And then what I realized is when I started reading, because I was like, God, I really believe he was showing me the Moses and Joshua thing. But what I realized, when you're going from, let's see, Genesis, Leviticus, Numbers, is Deuteronomy. At the end of Deuteronomy, it says Moses has died, right? Well, the first words in the book of Joshua is Moses has died. And I said, I said, you know what, Joshua generation people need to understand. Yes, Moses did powerful things. God really used Moses, but understand, I believe he said it twice for a reason. The error has died. Like, that worked back then. And not saying, because understand that the foundation of the Bible, the word of God, it still stands the same. I do not try to even go against that, because the devil's a lie. I wouldn't even, but understand the way that it was done back then. Back then, Moses could raise his hand, and he had, Aaron and Ur to hold it up. He had people, and they could win the battle. Joshua was one that went to war. He was active in it, and so it wasn't done the same. And that's why it gives me, I have such a passion, and I get so excited, because of the fact is, I don't want to be, a person, or even I don't want the church to be people that misses the boat. I believe Curtis Cobain was talking about that when he was like, it hurt his heart, because he realized people were actually going to miss it. Mm-hmm. They were going to miss it. And I was like, man, that means my church people are going to miss it too. And it hurt me, because I'm like, if you just take the time to listen, just take the time, as April just said, how she came over non-judgmental and say, you know what, let me get an understanding of it. Let me figure out what's going on. And then, you know what, then from there, God, is this something that I can actually save my church with, or save my children, or save my children's children, to where we no longer have to depend on a government
Yeah.
to provide a stimulus check. We no longer have to depend on a government for the SBA loans, for the things to bail us out. Because the fact is, now the church is in place to help feed the homeless, to help cover those that have no clothes, to help those that are in need. And so it gives me just definitely, I have a passion about that. And I hope that, someone here, April, I appreciate your time that you've given us today, because I know you're a busy lady. Like, I was like, April, when is your next open date on your calendar? Because, this great woman of God, just definitely wants to help people. But April, for anyone that might want to reach out to you, how can they reach you, whether it be via email or whatever it might be, how can they reach out to you?
Sure. I'm on Instagram. This is April Pullins, APRIL, like on the screen. My email is aprilpullins@gmail.com. And I wanted to share this one thing, Queen. When I was praying about 2021, I don't make resolutions. I don't do any of the, typical things, but I also know that God is, leading us into a new era, like you mentioned. And so he told me the words yield. And so I took that word and I looked it up, and yield has two different meanings. He says, if you will yield, then I will yield. And so I started to understand, being in this wealth community, and not outside of being in the wealth community, I didn't understand this. I didn't have the revelation, but yielding is, first of all, I need to yield to everything that you are, God. You're sovereign. Everything that I am, everything that I do, all that I am, it's because of you. And I yield to you. I'm everything I give to you. And then once we surrender the control, then he will yield to us a harvest. And so I think 2021 is the year of yielding. But first, we have to say, Lord, I submit, I'm listening. What do you have to say to me? Because it may look different. When I came from where I was and travel, like, this is a whole different thing. It looks completely different. It feels completely different. Thank God it is, because I was comfortable. I didn't want to leave. It was 8 years. I was comfortable. And when I came over here, it was very uncomfortable. He had to humble me. He had to say, you need to understand something that's different. How many of our people are staying in positions, staying in jobs, staying in relationships where it's, I'm not really happy, but it's an end of an era.
Definitely. That is amazing in what you just said. And not realizing, my father had preached this message one time where he said, what you sow, you're going to reap. A lot of times we think it's just money. Okay, if we sow money, we're going to reap money. But he said, sometimes because a lot of times we feel like we're late to the party, and we're like, oh, well, it's already taken off. I might as well not even try. But realizing that when you sow time, that God allows you to reap time, because he told us he would restore the years that the cankerworm ate up. So, like, even though I wish I would have got Bitcoin when it was like $20, I really wish I would have got in there. But I'm like, God, I know you've put us here like for a perfect season, a perfect time to help those that maybe, wouldn't in other ways like get into this, So I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful, to you, April, for leading and doing what you do, and, leading by example. And then, I'm grateful even to all of our mentors, to I Am Academy, to all of those that are helping us even get to that next level, and to where we can help free families financially, because that's what it's about, helping our neighbor, helping our sister, our brother, to get to the next level. So I'm so excited about that. And I just thank you so much, April, for getting on here. I appreciate you, Queen. Thank you so much, Queen.
Thank you.
Really express it. And listen, I have a surprise for everybody else. Let me tell you, tomorrow I have another. Now, I told you I take everything personally. I say, my God, my sister queens. Now, listen, I got another sister queen, my sister queen Francis, you know, and look, I'm probably just as loud as all of them, and I don't even have that Latina gene. I'm just loud. But I said, man, we are gonna tear this up again tomorrow. We tore it up today, and we're gonna tear it up again tomorrow. So definitely tag people in, let them know that tomorrow they want to jump on tomorrow also. But thank you so much, Queen Nation. Thank you, Queens in Action. Thank you, all those that joined, even watching the replay. Thank you so much. Just make sure you go ahead and tag someone in this video that definitely could benefit from the information. You just don't want to hold it for yourself, okay? Just don't hold it for yourself, okay? Pass on that information and let them know what's going on. But we love you guys, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.